Hi, I'm Mark Ells, Town Manager in Barnstable, and here with me today is Wendy Northcross, CEO of the Cape Cod Chamber of Commerce. Before Wendy and I get into discussing the emergency response situation that we are here dealing with on Cape Cod and across our state and nation. Just wanted to remind everybody that our governor has issued an order requiring face coverings be worn in public places where social distancing is not possible. And effective today, any person who is in a place open to the public, whether indoor or outdoor, and is unable to maintain a distance of approximately 6 feet from every other person shall cover their mouth and nose with a mask or face covering. This requirement applies to all workers and customers of businesses and other organizations open to the public that are permitted to operate as essential businesses. Now, non-essential businesses must remain closed as per the governor's order through May 18th. So this applies to essential, not non-essential. So that standing order is still in place through May 18th and is subject to change as we have seen that occur as we progress through this situation. Um, Wendy and I both play active roles, certainly here on Cape Cod. And during this emergency response, we are directly participating on task force and committees relative to us progressing through this response and into recovery. So certainly with that, Wendy, thank you for being here to speak with us. And can you share with us what you're seeing Cape-wide as we move through this response mode and what you expect to see as we progress into recovery?
Well, thanks for having me, Mark. Always a pleasure to be with the town of Barnstable, my hometown. We have actually been very active at the Cape Cod Chamber. We have, in the last 2.5 days, convened over 14 subgroups by industry sector to ask them how they're doing, what is their business condition, what are they doing to plan for reopening, what do they need, and what are some of their ideas. And it is, as you can imagine, it's in some cases a very stark picture that is being painted. I just got off a phone call earlier today where business was off anywhere from 70 to 90% in this particular sector. However, I have to say people are optimistically working toward a future reopening. I'm just trying to figure out a lot of the details there.
Right now, I think we're both trying to understand what will happen on or after May 18th. I do think that many indications are that this won't just be everything's lifted and go back out there on May 18th. This will be a phased sort of recovery that may commence on May 18th.
That's exactly right. We have been advised by the governor's group that's looking at how to safely reopen non-essential businesses and organizations throughout the state. We've been advised that the 18th is not a magic date where a flip of a switch opens everything back up. In fact, it'll be, like you said, slow and deliberate. And as we can make the case for a particular sector or a particular region to say we are ready. We will have to wait for the state to make that declaration, and we can move forward. The reason it's important that we stay in lockstep with the state is so that we have a common message, so that we're not contradicting ourselves to either our residents in our business community or to our potential visitor or our second homeowner. We need to be very consistent so people know what to expect and how to stay safe.
We here in Barnstable receive many questions specific to Barnstable on what that date means and what will it mean for me to open my doors to my business. And we are working hand in hand with the business community. What resources Wendy, does the chamber bring to our businesses that could help them through this time of change?
Well, some of the things that we're looking at helping with, we've been doing a lot of business advising, helping them understand the loan programs that are out there. Excuse me, just trying to work through some of the unemployment programs, because there's a lot of different choices there, and in some cases, just being supportive. This is a very scary time for many people and they just need someone to talk to. So we're doing a lot of that. We're also working with this recovery task force in which you and I both sit to look at things like what are some ideas if someone has a restriction on their inside capacity, how can we work with the towns and the boards of health to consider increasing outside capacity? Is there something we can do over the next 1 or 2 years as we work through this pandemic to, mix it up a little bit? If one of the suggestions has been, if there's an empty storefront, say on one of our main streets on Cape Cod, perhaps there could be a pop-up shop that goes in there very quickly, or a restaurant that's on Main Street that has a tighter occupancy ratio. Maybe they can also take that space, expand their dining space because they're able to quickly get into an empty storefront. So we're trying to be creative in that regard because we think the government's going to be telling us certain things in terms of ratios and occupancy rates. We're looking to try to create signage that people can just cut and paste and go. And we're looking to try to source things like hand sanitizers, PPEs, cleaning products that people might need that they just can't get right away because of supply demand. So we have been working with groups on that front. But we're also trying to take the long view, and once this is over, some business models will be broken. And how can we help businesses change their thinking, change their ideas? Remote work might become far more palatable than it used to be.
Well, it applies too on the municipal side, Wendy. Certainly contactless service, remote working, and a major change in the way that we will do business is absolutely part of what we're trying to move toward.
Yeah.
What role does our resident and the consumer play in all of this?
Well, that's a really important thing to talk about because as these restrictions get lifted, we're doing it with some element of risk still that the virus hasn't been eradicated, but we're taking an educated risk how to keep people safe. So the consumer and the resident needs to basically follow the guidance. If we're asking people to wear a mask, please wear a mask. Don't make it any more difficult for our law enforcement or even our shopkeepers to say, hey, they don't want to be the enforcers, but they want people to basically follow the rules so they can stay open and they can stay in business. So it may seem silly or onerous to us, but I do think some of these social distancing, wash your hands, wear a mask, that all works, and we need to keep doing it so that we can reopen and people can go back to work.
Yeah, I think it's a real pleasure working with you, Wendy, because I think we have, we are in sync on many of the important communications that we need to make that don't conflict. Because you spend so much time when they do conflict trying to explain and correct rather than just achieving what we all know we need to achieve to get to recovery. So yeah. It's going to be complicated enough to move into that phased recovery mode.
Yeah. And I think it's going to be incumbent on the chamber and the town and others to give people the confidence that we're doing safe practices here. Our cleaning protocols are very safe. We're going to make sure we're doing the right thing so that you can feel comfortable coming out to get an ice cream cone or to do your shopping. People really need to feel that confidence, and which is on us to help provide.
Yeah, certainly. What do you hear? You've described what you're hearing from our businesses. Certainly, to Barnstable and any municipality. What do you think some of the bigger things are that we should be in or could be doing to help this recovery phase along?
Well, I think again, unified messages. Right now we're doing a we're getting ready campaign. So we're actually talking to people that come from our core visitor markets to say, hey, it's not time to travel, but we're getting ready for you because we love you. We want you to come and visit when the time is right. So anybody can use that same phraseology. They can hashtag, we're getting ready and put beautiful pictures of Cape Cod or pictures of something that you're doing now to welcome them when they get here. So just doing that, because the marketing is going to be really important. We're going to be having a shorter summer season, I think. So summer is when people make enough money to get through 52 weeks of the year in some cases. So every day of summer is going to matter. And we're going to have to be kind of unified in that it's okay. The businesses that are open, it's okay for them to be open because they're abiding by the right protocols and they're doing the right things. And we're now going to be telling people this. So people shouldn't be afraid. They should trust, that we're going to do the best that we can. And we don't want to have any more flare-ups. We've got a great healthcare system. Mike Love has indicated that we can handle a few more people in the population this summer. We should be okay there. But people are going to have to trust businesses are doing the right thing. Organizations like the town is doing the right thing, and it's safe. And I think it will be.
Well, safety is our number one priority, certainly. And we've kept our beaches open, and we're here to help our businesses get back on track and recover. So I know that you and I will be coordinating as we always do moving forward. Anything else to share at this time with our viewing audience?
No, I mean, we have made a pitch to the Governor's Advisory Council about, along with the Berkshires, that we have very seasonal economies in some sectors, and we really do need to look at the timing of opening. And we have beaches that the Berkshires doesn't have to worry about, but we both have golf courses, and we think that there's some natural things that can occur to reopen sooner rather than later. And that's kind of been the focus for the last several weeks. And hopefully soon we'll have some more good news to share with people.
I hope so too. And I feel good that they recognize that every community and every geographic area is different, and therefore merits perhaps a little bit different approach. And they're listening to us, they're engaging us in the decision-making process, which is critical. And one size doesn't fit all, and certainly Cape Cod is unique, and I know you carry that message forward all the time, and we certainly here in Barnstable feel the same way. So,
well, you guys are doing a great job, and you're great partners, and we appreciate you keeping us safe.
all right. Well, thank you, Wendy. Thank you for joining me today. I appreciate it.
For having me.
Okay. Stay well.
You too. Take
Okay.
care.
Bye-bye.